Hey, what is up? What are we doing? And how are we doing? Welcome. Just too phenomenal. What's going on, bud? How are you? We got a big one here. We have a big game here. TEW 2020 patch. Man, there like been at least 7 patches, I think, since I last played the game. What did they fix in this one? Number 7, Michigan State. 17 more products, nice. You know, people were bitching hard about lack of being able to customize it. There were, crash errors are fixed, good. I'll ask what you think about the products and how people were, really upset in the forums about it, especially during the beta. When I actually started a company and tried to get a product, especially with the 1934 mod, the historic mod really was exposing the gaps in the products, because how am I supposed to run a realistic like sports like promotion, kind of strong style, but realism, and have it carnival style where it's like people are having these big over the top gimmicks and shit. Like it's such a weird hybrid. Like they want people to be billed as like carnival acts and shit, but then they want the guy to come out and be a bare knuckle boxer with no no silly shit. They just want a super awkward combination that there's only one product type on there that I think it was like freestyle or something that kind of lets you just. Once I found that product type, but granted, I never actually booked a fucking show with that promotion yet, so I don't know what kind of ratings I was going to get. Could have been worse than what I did the first promotion that I was running. The current era hardcore one, which I'll get back to eventually too. I'm trying to reset my biological clock and my hours. Somehow, one way or the other, I need to be up, whether I've gone to sleep and woken up around 5:30 a.m. or that I've stayed up into 5:30 a.m. because that's when I can get ready to go out and do stuff like take a shower, get ready to go, like do my shopping when there's no crowds around. Everything done at the grocery. Go into Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever. And like a Monday or Tuesday morning is perfect too, because even if people don't work, after the weekend they ain't fucking doing it on Monday morning. Anywho, good to see you in here, bud. Hope everything's going good. This is a pretty big game, right? Number 7, number 6, 5-1 each of us. There's some recruiting implications for sure. As we'll go in here and it's going to tell us this list of people that are visiting. Let's see how long it is now. Jason Williams, Lance Irvin, Pete Dobzinski, Adam Smith, Patrick Brown, Casey Salas, Fred Newsom. That's 7. Based on me pulled my fingers out as I counted them. There are some things we're trying here. As you see, we're about 1,000 off of that guy. I probably need to cut him loose soon if we don't get him. This dude, everybody just basically just got points dumped on him because a guy signed somewhere else and then 1 or 2 people committed, so we ended up with like 900 or so extra points. Now Ben Moore's maxed out. Dobzinski's like 3,000 up on the, so we're getting some dudes hopefully without dropping much to any points on them. And then if we can keep it close, like we've done with Salas, we have not really given him too many points lately, but Michigan State has just recently taken the lead from us. And I'm thinking a big visit right here. Watching me beat Michigan State can lock shit in. Will that be the case? Will it happen like that? I don't know. But after this week, based on how this visit goes, we'll know whether we should just cut bait. Maybe 125 points we could throw somewhere else. The other hopeful thing is that somebody, one of the other people that we have visiting, or one of these other fine gentlemen that we've got on the list, will commit. And at that point, we will be able to throw points other places. James Ross needs some points. I need Jeff Garner to get some points too, but whatever. You know, we're trying to balance a lot of shit here. And I micromanage it. I get into the weeds, but yeah, like this guy, I'd love to be able to give some more points and try to bring him in. Matt Bauer, I mean, we don't necessarily need him. Valentine, these are nice to haves. Jermaine Carter too. Pennsylvania's not a pipeline state, I see now. Well, here's the 5 guys we've got. 79. Cornerback, who's probably going to be best in the recruiting class. He's the 3rd, but he's the fastest. So he's 3rd ranked overall running back. Going to redshirt probably next year and come out with Bradshaw and be an absolute thumper. That'll be Bradshaw's junior year. That'll be Vince Jamison's freshman redshirt year. We'll get 2 years of that combo probably. Which we're starting to run a 2-back system a little more because our running back gets tired so fast from constantly busting the edge on run plays and trying to go for 10 or 15. Josh Pope was a really nice to have tight end that just kind of fell in our lap. A receiving tight end with decent speed. I think this might be the guy that I finally can use as a hybrid wide receiver and play into my super run block rated offense. And then we got Jacob Coley here. I like this pickup. You can get a shirt to red shirt next year. Oh shit, Cam DC. Hello, sir. Hello. Thank you for raiding. I appreciate. Was watching you stream a little bit earlier. Thanks to Leverett introducing me to you. Bash is in here too. Shit. Hell yeah. Nice. I love it, man. Thank you guys. But yeah, I was saying thank you for following because, or raiding, because now I can easily follow you. I forgot to do it when I was watching and I closed my stream and it's just one less thing I have to do. I wanted to do it. I was trying to watch Leverett and I was trying to watch Bash and I was trying to watch you, and Leverett mentioned earlier when he was streaming that it kind of is just, it's not shitty so much as it's just unfortunate that we all stream at the same time. I can't watch you all whenever I want to stream. But welcome in Raiders. Good to see some of these names I've seen and recognize. We've just rated Cam because I kind of trade off. Oh, totally get it. I totally get it. You don't have to raid me ever, let alone every time. It's always appreciated. And that's the other tricky part of the tricky part of me being at this like graveyard time slot is that a lot of times around 5:30 or 6, there's no one on. So if I can bump my hours up a little bit and I start streaming around this time, that should help me get my shopping done at 6 in the morning. I don't know if you guys were here when I was talking about that. Like, I was like, I gotta figure out a streaming schedule that helps ensure that I'm awake and able to go do like super early shopping when no one else is out at the hardware store. Because since I'm home and I'm not working right now, I have a lot of projects, a lot of shit, and it's perfect because I can do this is the time I can be outside and I can do it. But being outside at like 7 in the morning is a lot better than being outside in the summertime at 1, 2, 3. Prince, what's going on? Prince 1, why? Dies out around 5, yeah. And during the weekdays, it seems worse than the weekends, like on the weekends. Dusty Wall, thank you for the follow, man. Why the hell is Walmart still closed up? Kroger's 24 hours though, right? I think maybe you can go to Home Depot at 6 or 7. Go and shop at Kroger at 11 a.m. or 5 a.m. Yeah, 5 a.m. is pretty good. 6 a.m. like there's no one in there. Thank everyone for getting you to 80. Hell yeah. I'm just, happy to meet another streamer because I think I saw you in chat once before here or someone else's, and the name was familiar. And then at Leverage stream, I found out you stream too. So it is like a big family. I love this community. It scares me to think if another NCAA game is released, if this will turn like into the Madden community, which is, like all communities has pockets where there's good, but the crazy like 13, 14-year-old kids on summer break who are bored to death and just want to come make fart and dick and racism jokes kind of gets old with the Madden. 11 p.m. Yeah, this town shuts down like 9 o'clock. I lived in Columbus for 18 years, and I lived like in downtown Columbus that was kind of almost 24 hours, really. And it's like if you go to a restaurant, and they close at 10. If you go to a restaurant at 10 o'clock in downtown Columbus and they open till 11. They won't be mad at you, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, they'll make you food. If you go into a restaurant around here and it's an hour before close, they will treat you with the shittiest, awfulest service. The fucking servers will disappear. Bela, what's going on? I must sleep during the day because you be streaming at 6 to 2. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. My problem with the Madden community is it's all Madden Ultimate, yeah. Madden Ultimate is not fun for head-to-head games, for sure. Because you have to fucking play Madden Ultimate forever just to play online. And then the 2 or 3 times I did it, I thought I had good teams, right? I played Madden Ultimate like 5 years ago, I think. And, I think that was the first game I ever streamed, actually. It was like Madden 2014 or so, the one that had Tom Brady on the cover. Yeah, franchise is not, the game has not appealed to me for a while, and so I was only buying it like once every other year. And then I would play it and be like, yeah, kind of tired of it. And then the next year I would buy NBA 2K. In NBA 2K, like if you do one of those, I forget what else the game, my game or something, where it's just you control your player forever all through it. Like I played that like 6 or 7 seasons, and then one year I took the game, the game before, the seasons before game, and instead of buying a new one, I turned all the teams into the fantasy basketball team league I was in. And changed all their logos and gave them all new uniforms and changed all the basketball courts, and that shit like took me forever to do. Only started streaming like a week and a half ago. All right, so that means I'm not that dumb. I'm just not that up to date. But nice to meet you for sure. Chiquita Claps, yo, welcome man. How's it going? Just play offline franchise. Exactly, Balo. as the one mode. I would play Madden Ultimate, and my extent of Madden Ultimate was warming up before playing season games. Like I would go in and play a couple of the weekly challenges, but the weekly challenges were like on pro level difficulty, so it was just that. It was a warm up at best, and then sometimes you'd have to play like an ultimate team or something, like an all-time team, and it would be a really good player or card, whatever they want to call them. And so I had ended up with a team that was like 91 ranked, rated or whatever, and so I went to play online, and some dude I played had like a 95 team, and there was all these 99 overall rated players that he all of a sudden like was beating me by 42. Maybe it wasn't that bad, but it was bad. It was bad enough that I was tempted to rage quit, and I didn't. Alright, anyway, the recruiting is what it is for now. Big day. Let me check one thing I was trying to check. Even offline franchise broke. I love the franchise modes on 2K for sure. And the I don't even know what the mode is called, but where you control your player and you just play him all the way through. I played a long time series of that. I never was online though. My career, yep. And yeah, my career mode, like I had my guy playing with the Sixers, and the 76ers were two-time NBA Finals runners-up against the Warriors, and then it was the third year the Warriors, I think I played 5 seasons on there, and 3 years in a row went to the finals, and I played the Warriors every time. I'm like, it's kind of like what happened to the Cavaliers. They had to play them 3 different times, didn't they? So maybe more realistic than I give it credit for, but yeah, this shit. Alright, we're in here searching for ready to visits. There are none that aren't scheduled. Okay. Aw, shit, you come in here subbing too. Thank you, man. That means a lot, bro. Are you affiliate already? Based on you streaming for a week and a half? Kicking butt? Hell yeah. Congrats on that. I'll definitely return the favor here. I gotta get some things together with my real life career as opposed to my coaching career. We'll absolutely do it. Support you, man. I've been an affiliate long enough. I've almost got a check coming. New Madden career modes are so bad. I don't think I've played any of them recently, really. But much love, bro. I definitely appreciate you coming in here. Nice to meet you. I'll be coming by, seeing what's going on with your squad. Seeing how things are going. Appreciate this circle of people in this community. Just, it's like, it feels like friends. Like, it feels like when I was in high school and my friends and I would have like wrestling pay-per-view parties, and we would go to somebody's house, and while we were waiting, and even during the wrestling, we didn't give a shit about the wrestling, we'd be playing NCAA tournaments against each other, and it was just good times. Friendly competition, everybody trying to kind of learning tips and tricks to make the recruiting and all this stuff go differently, like pretty sweet. So saying, if you hear a loud ass Civic rolling through town at 12 a.m., that's my buddy. I think I know. There's so many loud cars around here. They're like people, whether they want them to be loud or whether they want or not. Last few Mads, you can only be a quarterback. Chiquita, I don't think I knew that you were a streamer, so I can try to help you with that. I'll come in there. Yeah, okay. I'll tell you this. I streamed for 5.5 years. I just said that like the first game I played was Madden. I streamed off and on. I did and I didn't. And then like in the last 2 years or so, I really tried harder I got a microphone, I got a gaming computer, and it finally happened. But yeah, it was like singing Twitch Sings at 3 and 4 and 5 in the morning to nobody also is just amazingly sad. It's like karaoke to yourself. And one day I woke up, I'm like, dude, I know why nobody watches that, because I don't watch anybody do that either. I don't go and watch people do Twitch Sings usually. But game, you getting out of here? Hey, playing NCAA tomorrow and NFL 2K5. Nice. On Tuesday. They'll be doing that. Alright. Yeah. I'll definitely try to check it out. Anytime I'm on my computer, I'm usually trying to watch streamers, sometimes more than one at a time, seeing what's going on. A lot of times more than one. Just kind of hanging out. I watch these crazy ass riots and protests on Woke stream channel too. Just making sure, seeing the people out there fighting for justice. Making sure everybody's behaving as well. But CF Ryan 23, hey, I'm new to the stream. You have any rules in place? I can't leave until I win the national championship, although I did play at App State, or coach at App State for 3 years and left without winning a national championship. I took like 2 years off from playing the game, so when I first started again, I just wasn't very good. I was having a real hard time, and recruiting and everything on Heisman was harder than I don't think I've ever played a whole Dynasty on this version of the game before 2018, when I dusted off my Xbox and pulled everything out. So yeah, we're going to win a national championship, and then once I have, you know, lack of competition and whatnot, I'm ready to jack up the sliders and start doing that. But it's all vanilla for now. Welcome in here, bud. Nice to meet you. People mod Civics left and right. It's either Civics or GTs. Yeah, if it's loud because they want it to, it makes sense. I used to have a loud car, and one time it was a Honda because the fucking catalytic converter had been sawed off. That's the kind of shit people do in Columbus. They crawl under your car at night and cut your catalytic converter off. So recruiting's good. And then I had an old hoopty that the exhaust fell off because fucking air ride on it. That car I actually bought here in Marysville from Naven car dealership. And the fucking air ride on it broke. And so like it was like a lowrider at times. When the air ride rode, it had like, you know, shocks on it, and it was off the ground. When the air ride would go out, it would go up and down like a boat on the fucking water. And I would drive that thing and just do my normal driving, and sometimes it would fucking bottom out. Driving down the road, bottoms out, like, oh shit, exhaust is gone. Car sounds like a NASCAR. Drive it down to South Columbus, the exhaust works. This dude's they asked me, like, you want it fixed the legal way, or do you want it fixed the cheap way? I'm like, oh, there's a difference? He's like, cheap way, we just run that shit straight back, so it's going to be quiet, the fumes would be out of your cab, blah, 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 but he's like, it's not an actual, like, muffler on it. Like, oh, yeah, I don't care, that sounds good. Memories. Yeah, Naven's turned into something else now. But that was like, what was that? That was like 10 years ago. I bought that car for $1,900, and I sold it back during Cash for Clunkers for $3,500. Pretty good deal. After I drove it for like a year. But here we go. We are the higher ranked team. We should win this game. We definitely planned on it. We have a lot of recruits here, at least 7. Yeah, before I moved here, and I didn't have any connection to this town other than I drove through it a million times to go from my hometown near Indian Lake to Ohio State, or when I drive back home and visit family because they still live back there. But Benny's Pizza, once I ate at Benny's Pizza, I thought, you know what, I can live here. I live in this town. This is a big one in Bloomington, yes. The recruits are here. The very classy non-hookers are here to give the kids a good time. They're getting free Adidas shoes. Maybe some massages. I think we're going red. We're going to red them out. We can't wear the red helmet, though. We got to have the white. I can't do all red. Looks like Larry Fitzgerald for some reason. It's Arizona from his prime era. Oh shit, Balo with the Hot Rod Chug. I actually have a beer with me right now. Most times I just have water. So, cheers to you, bud. 420. This town is a town built on pizza. Dawson's and what's it, Chubby's? I've never had Chubby's. I don't know if it's good. Buckeye Family, yeah. Like, I can walk down, if I go down 2 streets, I go down to Buckeye and I walk and I cut through the Nestle parking lot. I go there and can get drunk and watch Bengals games. Only like $7 pitchers of beer. It looks a lot like Arizona, right? Maybe almost too much. It bothers me sometimes. We either look too much like Arizona, or if I go with the white pants, we look too much like Nebraska. Except Nebraska, I don't think has stripes anymore. Tubbies, and it's kind of bad. Yeah, good to know. But yeah, we also got Donato's, Marco's, Pizza Hut, Domino's. We got them all except Papa John. That's the only one we don't really have, which I'm okay. It's all right. Need to drink to be a Bengals fan for sure. I'm a Reds fan primarily, so Bengals, I didn't have enough heart for us to get broke by 2 Cincinnati teams each year, and because of that, I didn't really cheer for the Bengals until Andy Dalton was benched after Marv Lewis was. I liked Marv Lewis. I wish they had left him there as a defensive coordinator. I just didn't like him as a head coach. He was a player's coach. He let these guys fucking run wild. Pizza Hut's got 50-cent wings. Oh, that's nice. That makes it a lot more enticing. I don't think we've ever ate there since we've lived here. There's another pizza place too. I'm not thinking of the name of it. I think it actually is out of business now, and it was part of Dawson's Monarch Pizza. Don't know if Marv wanted to stay. Yeah, it's a good point. I wouldn't want to work for the fucking boss he had. Stupid Brown family, man. I had like a list of demands for me to be a Bengals fan. One was they had to not be owned or operated by the Brown family, and Dalton had to be gone or not starting, or they stopped wearing orange. And everybody's like, stop wearing orange. What are you talking about? I'm like, well, you remember when they went to the Super Bowl last? They had a white Bengal tiger, not orange. And they also had some like Color Rush uniforms they wore a few times that were primarily white, and they had black accent, and they just had a tiny splash of orange. If they made those like their regular gear, I would have cheered for them because I would wanted to buy a jersey. That's like some shit I used to do when I was a kid. Like the Philadelphia Eagles changed their uniforms one time. Like, oh, now I'm an Eagles fan. I want to I like those uniforms. What the fuck, what, Balo? How long I'm taking to get this done? We're working on it. We're working on it. Ain't like Dalton was that bad. It was just the playoff performances, though. Dalton had pretty solid numbers, but he always had huge interceptions that would destroy all momentum or fumbled it. Time wore on. Well, the thing that wore on mostly was that he was starting to play with shit receivers. Alright, well, here's these numbers. Their offense putting up quite a bit of yardage and pointage. Not as much as us. Not as much. Their defense has been pretty stout against the run. So, quite a matchup coming up. Our passing offense is alright, but the passing defense could get exploited. Damn, Texans always beat us. Yeah, like every time in the playoffs, it seemed like. Offensive line was garbage. Some of the draft picks that they made on the offensive line were especially didn't work out. Here we go, Coach Dickie. He's now on week 4. Is it week 5? Week 7. He has not had his halftime bourbon for this entire season. And that's going to change tomorrow. So I guess I gotta go to the grocery store a little bit later because the liquor store is not open. Texans equal dumb front office. The Bengals color rush. I'm trying to find a picture of it. I don't know. The fucking Big Ten East on here is a bitch. It's got to be the hardest conference to roll through, or division. It's got to be the toughest. And Ohio State will be ranked before long, guaranteed. Yeah, Penn State had a #1 recruiting class a couple years ago, and they were going 500, and I just didn't understand. Well, now all those dudes are probably definitely sophomores or juniors, maybe. And that game's going to be a hard one. Ohio State is definitely tough, yeah. They're rated like still a 95. They won the national championship, not last year, but the year before. They won it 3 out of 6 times. 3 out of 6 seasons have been Ohio State. The ACC is pretty tricky too, though, since I've stacked it up with Army and Notre Dame and App State. We cut Syracuse out of it. The Notre Dame does not go undefeated or get into the national championship picture anymore. Clemson usually doesn't. Vautech won it last year. App State is kind of coming back down to reality since I've been gone for so long. But I think if I win a national championship, we're going to go back there because now they're not in the stupid Sun Belt where I would go undefeated and still not get in the national championship. Trade a top wideout for a high injury player and a 4th round pick. Are you talking about Hopkins trade? That Hopkins trade, I'm not sure what the rationale was unless he really wanted out. I think, one of the best receivers. In the few seasons that he didn't have good, it was because coaching. Like, they just weren't getting him the ball, I think. He was frustrated. He had quarterback injury issues one year. Jalen, what's up? Yo. How are you? Good to see you in here. We got a big one here against the Sparty. It's number 6 versus number 7. Oh, he's wide open. He didn't throw it. He did not throw it towards the sideline. Why? My quarterbacks, and maybe just me in general as a player, we have a big problem trying to get the ball to like guide them downfield, or they just throw the ball wherever, and they seem to throw it towards defenders. Bash, you're heading out of here, but yeah, appreciate you coming in, bud. Good to see you. Good to talk. Thank you for the raid. We'll do this again here soon. Try to get this W tonight. 4th and 1. Talking about Hopkins, yeah. It was a questionable trade. Alright, 4th and 1. You got this? They're loading them up. Beefy boys there on the line. Just audible right now into a pass. Johnson hit it. He dropped it. Fuck. Uh-oh. 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 We're in a bad spot here early. Real bad spot. They're already in field goal range. Shit. Shit. David Johnson's way out of his prime, yeah. Even last year when he came back and he was supposedly healthy, they did not use him hardly at all. I know that because I picked him up in fantasy football, and 1 week he got me a touchdown. He had like 1 catch, and he got a touchdown for 20 yards or something. I'm like, damn, I got lucky. And I'm like, well, 2 weeks later, I needed to start somebody. And I'm like, here we go. He got like 0.1 or some shit. He didn't even sniff the field. 4th round pick. Bengals always, hit on their draft picks. Oh my God, he steamrolled him, but Fields. We got these outside linebackers specifically for fucking up the screens and options they run. And the boys are finally getting it. They're finally getting it. On cover 2 again because it protects us in the flats. If I don't run it, they do the thing. A questionable play call there for sure, but now no field goal. Are you kidding me? Jason Wade hunting him down. He's going to get credit for the tackle after the guy fucking does the Thriller dance walk. Good work. My thoughts on Joe Burrow. That's one of the reasons I'm going to be a Buckeye or a Bengals fan. Watching him last year play, like, I didn't see any other quarterback who seemed to have such a grasp of like reading coverages and being able to. They did still kick the field goal. Are you kidding? I think Burrow definitely is an NFL quarterback, like right off the bat. How good will he be? I mean, is he going to be like Dalton and have great numbers and win some All-Star appearances or Pro Bowl appearances, but never really get playoff success? He's going to at least give me hope. There'll be something to watch. I haven't had an NFL team for pretty much a while. Like oh my God, dudes are just standing in my way, fucking me up. I kind of cheered for the Lions for a minute. I kind of cheered. That was after. Wait, that was when who? he was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles after that. I forget who he was, but he was like a Bill Parcells disciple. And I used to cheer for the Dolphins and Cowboys when Parcells was involved with them, and those are dark days. When Parcells was there, though, the Cowboys had a lot of Buckeye players. Thought on Andy leaving the Bengals, going to the Cowboys. I wasn't a huge Dalton fan. I was ready for him to go, especially because he thought he could still be a starter. I mean, towards the end of the season, he was pissed off because they didn't try to trade him when they knew that they didn't want him anymore. I guess I understand that, but it's the Bengals. You just say, well, they're stupid. They didn't mean any ill intent. They just were not smart. But I mean, he went to school right at TCU. I don't know if he was born in Texas or has other Texas connections, but it seems like he reminds me, and there's multiple parallels here because Kitna played for the Cowboys and the Bengals. He reminds me of John Kitna from a career success standpoint. Kitna had the Seahawks in the playoffs a couple times. He wasn't a bad quarterback. He wasn't going to win you a Super Bowl. And then he was a great backup for a couple of years when he was called on. He was a backup a lot of years, but there was a couple of years where he had to jump in and play, and I remember him doing all right. In my opinion, Andy just didn't have the wideouts. Definitely towards the end, yeah. Like the last couple of years when they were not getting in playoffs and things were ugly, it was definitely because of the offensive line and the wide receiver injuries. AJ Green didn't play at all. The year he got hurt, and then this year he sat out the whole time. It's just one of those situations where it's like maybe good. It didn't end well. Like it was kind of messy, but it was one of the situations that's probably good for both. The Bengals are actually going to be, moving forward. Dalton gets a new situation. I think he's in a great, like if I was a backup quarterback, because the quarterback at the Cowboys runs a lot, takes a couple shots, seems to get shook up, have rib injuries or hurt hands. Like that's a place you probably get a chance to play, and they've got some weapons there. This is probably one of the first Cowboy teams that I actually respect and think, man, they might be good. So many years that they had Tony Romo there. I'm like, they ain't gonna do shit as long as he's there. Second and 5. We're moving on them. We can't run the ball. They do not allow that. And my right tackle just keeps getting blown off the ball, but as long as I can get around him, he's at least he's staying in front of the guy, but he's just getting blown back, disrupting each of our running plays. I don't know why I'm stuck in the ace bunch, but we're stuck in it. I'll get it to Harris. He's so slow. This is the trade-off for having a 240-pound wide receiver. He's not the quickest guy, but he could run routes like a motherfucker. That little hip wiggle was all it took to get into the safety. Get into the secondary. Not a huge fan of the NFL. I was at first a huge Lions fan because I love Barry and Calvin Johnson. Texans and Saints fan. Yeah, my grandma used to live in Detroit, and we used to go see her on Thanksgiving a lot. And so I used to remember every Thanksgiving, Detroit Lions. And I remember my grandpa, he's my step-grandpa, sitting there cheering for him. And so when Bill Parcells was officially completely out of the league, I cheered for them a little bit. I can't remember the guy's name. That was the coach, Jim something. He went on to be the Eagles defensive coach. But I liked him. He was a Bill Parcells guy. He was hard-nosed and old school. Why did the clock stop? Dude was tackled in the field. Oh, that was a 2-point. Dude, why do I do this? I line up and I just assume I'm on the goal line. Forgot Poe had already ran it in. But yeah, for a long time, I didn't really have any team. I thought about cheering for the Colts in the last year or two because I'm like, no one will call me a bandwagon. And geographically, to where I grew up, if you don't count the Bengals, Indianapolis would probably be closest. Detroit would be real close. But I think I could get to Indianapolis in about 2.5 hours from my childhood home. Use your tackle for loss. Kerry Roach stopped. He's having a hard day running on us today. But we randomly have that 2-point conversion to fall back on. That's some Coach Dickie shit for real. People ask, they're like, Coach, what do we do? I don't know. Like, you ask me about world peace. I don't just throw up a peace sign. Like, oh, go for 2. He's like, I wasn't paying attention. Coach Dickie's, he's laid the groundwork all week. He really, at this point, roams the sidelines just motivating and drinking bourbon and yelling constantly. Sometimes smoking. Everything. Anything. There it is again. Harris. This dude's my favorite. I know I say Dane Davis is my favorite recruit of all time. I'm probably going to be the best Hoosier football player of the Coach Dickie era, but I think Harris has been the most important too. He was the first big, 5-star recruit. Oh my God, Dean. Dumb shit. There was a good return there too. Alright, now we might be getting control of the game here. The fact that they are able to hit that field goal. Alright, catch a block. Oh, go. Fuck. Are you kidding me? Spin move from well back in the backfield to still pick up 4. Ridiculous shit. The fact that was such an opening. Such an opening. He couldn't get out there. Dude, load them up. Are you kidding me? Bradshaw, get it. One defender was able to trip him up. Alright, Michigan State knows what's coming. They know what's coming. Bradshaw, you beast! Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to get a full year of him as a starting running back because he breaks tackles. He's not as fast as Poe. He doesn't get to the edge quite as easy, but he breaks tack. He's 225. He's our masher. Makes me feel confident. Balo got to get some sleep. Hey, I appreciate you hanging out, bud. Get some Z's. When you wake up, next time I talk to you, I'll hopefully have won this game. Well, have a good night, bud. Thanks for coming in. We're doing it slowly but surely. Got the fucking ambient music all jacked up here in my headphones. Pretty low key stress on this game so far. We haven't had to have Cole throw the ball too much, thankfully. Harris had that big reception. Checking Johnson, Harris. Oh, is that a fumble? That is a fumble. I think they're going to review that. They're going to 30-yard loss, dude. Or 20 yards. Nice spin move. That's an incomplete pass. My tackle just fell like a goober. Fucking idiot runs backwards so far. So far. Texas and TCU, keep an eye on that one. That's a big game today. There's a few big games. Not just this one that we're playing right now. I'm gonna let this end. Or are we? Maybe they were thinking that we were gonna let it in, and then we didn't, and then I didn't see that dude, and somehow user catch that shit. How in the hell did that not get picked, or at least get batted down? Through a window that I didn't know was there. Crazy ass things that happen when you have a 74 rated wide receiver like Dean. He's fast as shit. His awareness is good. His catching is like 71 or 2. So a lot of times he's not making those big plays. He's dropping easy ones. But Harris getting it done. Another big catch and run. Move the chains. Move them chains. Let's go, let's go. Load them up right. Cantrell getting some action. Another candidate. He might be moved out to wide receiver depending on what kind of oh, that's no good. What kind of draft class we have at tight end. We've already got one tight end coming in. Cantrell is a wide receiver, or not wide receiver, but receiving tight end, so his speed's not great though. Trying to get some tight ends who are an 85 or faster at speed and close to 75 or better at run blocking to create our super OP offensive run attack. That didn't look good for Poe's health. The old double hit. Some of the worst injuries happen when a guy's coming down or reacting to a first hit and unable to brace, and they're already, you know, just wildly flailing. Go 3rd and 10. Gotta pass. Gotta pass. Joyce on this little comebacker. Let's see if Johnson can get some room. Nope, he can't. feel like that receiver could have made an extra like burst there at the end to try to get it. He didn't. We got a field goal though. In theory. Pretty good setup here, straight down the pipe. Yeah, boy. 8-point game. Stanford drops again. The Beavers 5-3. Same record. They ain't ranked. Pac-12 is a monster. Every year they just chew each other up. Oregon, Arizona, USC, Cal, UCLA sometimes. Arizona. Rotate. They all take turns beating each other when the other one's like number 3 or 4. Who else? Sometimes Washington. Not in a while. They haven't been good. But they're another team that will beat somebody just out of nowhere. Knock a team off. And Arizona State occasionally. Jackson's such a heavy hitter. Back in the day when Jeremy Bray was there, I'm not going to say he wasn't a good one, but this guy, instead of making a tackle 2 or 3 yards downfield, he's getting them in the backfield. Loss of 1. And Jackson, I mean, isn't like physical characteristics and you know, just physical raw attributes. He's not even the best middle linebacker we got. Hicks is. Jackson again. Pretty sure Jackson was a JUCO. We redshirted him last year because Bray was holding things down. But he's a pretty good one. Harris is probably going to go down as one of the best. Fields has a chance to be, but he hasn't really been too good yet. Is that Jack? No. Yeah, that's Jackson again. Putting a smash on the dude, making him cough it up. That was the defensive series of Jackson's fucking career. Tackle for loss. Tackle. Freaking, I don't know what you call it. That's not a pass deflection. I guess it's just a pass breakup. Hell, he fucking broke up his sternum. And the Hoosiers here up by 8. Chance to maybe play keep away. Just flip it. Flip it in reverse. See it. Didn't turn out like we wanted, but Poe gets 5. As long as this dude's running straight ahead, he's usually getting yards, positive yardage. He's so fast, but I don't have a real good time trying to dance with him. He's like throwing a javelin. It's going fast, but one direction. Let's get to curve or do anything. Let's try this though. Let's try to get outside Clancy. The safety comes over. The last resort, really. But Michigan State toughens up, stops us there. No yards. 3rd and 5. You know what I'm going to do, right? It's our boy, Bradshaw. Let's go right. Let's go right. Block it. Yes. Bradshaw, put a little wiggle. We'll take 9. I like this kid a lot, dude. Every time he gets the ball, it feels like he's capable of breaking one. He doesn't have... I don't think he has as much speed as Poe, though. Maybe more acceleration or something. Agility. Keep draining this clock. Let's try to not let them have it back. Hurry, 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 hurry. There it is, Poe. Crush their will. Notre Dame just barely gets the win over Duke. Michigan just barely beats Purdue. Or if they'll flip-flop the rankings because of how close it was. What the hell was that? I hit X instead of Y. Lazaro, yo, what's going on, man? How are you doing? I pushed the wrong button there, and my dude almost caught it. If he had thrown it to the right guy, I think we might have had a first down. Let's see if we can get Grant here. Our boy come out of that. Yes, sir. Oh, and a good hit for his troubles. We're doing pretty well, man. It's a big one here. 7 versus 6. Big Ten's pretty out of control right now. Number 1 ranked team, number 2, number 6, number 7. And we're just starting the murderer's row. We have to go through Michigan State first. And then I think we get Rutgers. Then we have Michigan, Ohio State, who will probably be ranked after this week. Penn State, who's number 2 right now. So if we beat all those teams, we should definitely be the number 1 ranked team, or at least in the BCS picture. We got to win one more conference championship game at that point to seal the deal. Hopefully no weird leapfrog shit happens, and this could be the year 4 here. We were at App State for 3 years that were not streamed. No, this game's from 2014. Actually, it was made in 2013. But the rosters are still being updated by just dedicated people, players of the game, because there's no more college football games being made due to legal reasons. Because the players can't get paid, and yet they sued because their likenesses... You know, when you go into this game and you turn it on, and number 7 at Ohio State has the same height, weight, and hometown as a guy that used to play at Ohio State, but he's not getting paid for it. This is made by EA Sports, so yeah, it is basically Madden, but there's some differences. There are enough differences in this game versus Madden that the gameplay feels a lot better. And then this is, of course, college, like university football. So instead of drafting players and signing contracts and trading players, we're recruiting them, and we're trying to develop them, and we're trying to give them educations and make them better people. That's Coach Dickie's way, but the ability to develop players and train them and have a guy who's a freshman become a stud All-American at starter at like their senior year. Can you get a shout out? Yeah. Do you stream? Shout out to you, bud. Let me see if I can do it before I get a delay game. No, I cannot. We'll try it again here in a second. 3rd and inches. inches, Poe. Come on, man. Come on. You kidding me? How can he not get... No field goal. Fuck off with that. I absolutely snapped it. Shit. I guess we're going to kick the field goal. God damn it. 4th and 6. Are you on mobile? I mean, first and foremost, don't feel like you have to. I really appreciate if you want and feel the need. But if you if you're on it depends on if you're on mobile or if you're on a PC, because if you're on a PC, it should be real easy. If you're on mobile, it might be a little trickier, unless you want to take care of business there. Like I said, don't feel like you have to. I appreciate you just being here. Always happy to see some chatters, people keeping me company while I play this season out here. Absolutely. Absolutely. The thing about, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement and all of that is that, you know, the funding that is used to make our police basically fucking military machines could go to so many different programs that prevent the need for prisons and the need for so much police enforcement. You know, like decriminalizing most marijuana and taking those charges off of people's records and shit. Like, stop the war on drugs, all that shit. And then it turns into capitalism too a little bit, because, you know, the fucking whole capitalist society America's been built on started with slaves, and now it continues to have black, you know, poor workers that build base of our economy. It's just disgusting. It's just absolutely disgusting how institutionally things are rigged. And I'll never understand. I can't understand because I haven't lived it. But I know people that do, and it just fucking breaks my heart to think that they're treated as lesser, or that a cop feels like somebody's dangerous or a criminal just because of how they look. Like, that's the shit that bothers me the most, because they can do it to anybody. They can do it to anybody. They can do it to white people too. You know, like, I was talking to Bash about the cars I used to have, right? And one of the cars I had, the muffler fucking fell off. And I was a little bit broke. I didn't have time to fix it right away. But I was living in a town, in a part of Columbus, Ohio, that was really, really wealthy. And so when they see my car come through there, it looks different. It sounds different. And I don't look like, you know, a 55-year-old executive that's just coming home from the golf course bar where I'm fucking way overserved. Instead, they want to pull a kid over who's just trying to run money from the goddamn GNC I used to work at to the bank. And that felt bad, but that's not even half that's not even close to the situation that like police profiling has put other people in. So, but yeah, I'll stop preaching about that. I don't like to get too political, but I'm definitely been keeping an eye on all of the protests and stuff too, because I'm tired of people being, you know, falsely accused as being violent and this and that when the cops are the ones that keep escalating it. I don't want to be brainwashed. I don't want the media to keep, you know, taking video out of context when they have not seen or paid attention to the shit that was happening all night prior to that, and then try to pass it off as Black Lives Matter is violent, rioting, destruction, property damage. Yeah, and police brutality is just fucking disgusting. And for people who are like, it should be all lives matter. And like at first I like, yeah, I mean it is all lives matter, but no, like somebody said it very well at one of the protests I watched, is that nothing about Black Lives Matter says that white lives don't. It doesn't have to be either or. And this is not, I mean, this is not a time to be out here like trying to conflict the issue. This is a problem because of specific violence to one community of people in our world, in our country. Exactly. You got it, Lazaro. We're focusing on the Black lives because they're the ones that right now have been devalued and like not treated with respect. Exactly. Yep. But Jaquita, to answer your question, I am an Ohio State graduate. I'm an Ohio State football fan. Look at that time of possession. Did I just blow that and not kick a field goal because I was chatting? Whatever. It was a topic that I'm glad that was the topic instead of me doing something stupid or some shit. We'll accept it. And I don't think Michigan State's that good, man. -10 rushing yards. We're putting it on them right now. Me not kicking that field goal might come back to burn me. It might come back to burn me, but no turnovers. That's the main thing. If I don't turn the ball over, we're not going to lose this game. Yeah, that field goal would have made it a nice, clean 14-point difference. But did we kick a field goal? I can't even remember. I think I did kick a field goal. I could have kicked another one though, right? That's what... Fuck, I can't even remember what happened on the drive. Shit. So yeah, I chose IU. So I do have some connections to IU. My brother is a big IU supporter, diehard fan. So it's in our family. When I was coaching at App State, I was going through the coaching carousel, and I kept saying, I didn't win a national championship. There's no chance. I'm not changing jobs. I'm not changing jobs. And then I kept looking at teams, and just all of a sudden, I started thinking, well, maybe if I went there, that'd be cool. No. And then Indiana came up, and I'm like, all right, now, Indiana is in the Big Ten, right? I was having a hard time in the Sun Belt getting to national championships. Yep, Indiana University, IU. I was having a hard time getting into the bowl game, to the championship bowl game, because of strength of schedule, and I was getting leapfrogged the last minute. And when I saw Big Ten, I'm like, that wouldn't happen there. And then IU basketball, you know, like IU as a state is basketball. Hoosiers, you know. I wanted to go here because of just the possibility to make the football team the biggest ticket in town. And I kind of like the classic logo, the I and the U, Cincinnati red colors, which of course I'm a big fan of. And then it's a challenge too, right? Like I was playing all those games in the Sun Belt and just getting monotonous. Like I was beating teams. My team was 6-star recruiting powerhouse. They were outmatching everybody who I played. So I went here for the challenge. I went here because IU's also, I don't think ever won a national championship. Their last conference championship was 67. I seem like an interesting person. Thank you. I can tell you some stories. I promise you. I've done some interesting things. I don't know that I'm necessarily that special. Try not to get too excited either on here, so I'm not wildly emotional, yelling and screaming. But there's times. But then, I've raised some hell in my childhood. We're talking about Black Lives Matters and some of these protests. Like, I've seen firsthand, what it's like to be a kid on campus just partying, and all of a sudden the guys show up in riot gear, and you're like, dude, we're partying. We're a bunch of young kids that are drunk. What do you think we're possibly going to do? That they needed to be there in riot gear, and they're just like, it's time to go home. And we're like, I don't know why. I see it with these protesters, the same thing. It's just like the cops say, well, we've deemed this an unlawful assembly. Now the fucking tear gas comes. They were doing all this shit. Like, they were endangering a whole neighborhood of people and basically trying to hurt people by shooting them with knee knockers and fucking, like, these projectiles. That's when I stopped, like, really having much respect for police, because I'm like, dude, we are kids. We are absolutely kids. But yeah, there was a few stories. Ohio State used to have something called 420. Everybody has 420, but we had 420 Fest. And so they would usually have festivals named after the streets they were on. So this was Chittenden. The street was called Chittenden. And we call it Chit Fest. And there were flyers passed out. I was like, come get chit-faced. And everybody, like, in my dorm was like, this is going to be so awesome. And it was. There was, like, a full-on rave in one person's house. There was, like, a spinning fireworks, like, display at somebody's house that they kept turning on, like, every other hour. And Jell-O shots everywhere I could find, keg beer. And I'm sitting at my friends, and we're just sitting in his attic smoking weed and hanging out. And all of a sudden we smell tear gas. I'm like, what the fuck? And so his house, like, got so filled with tear gas and smoke, because like one of the first warm days of the year, that we had to literally get on the roof to breathe from his attic. And then the cops tried to shoot us off of the fucking roof of a 3rd-story apartment house. And they had a helicopter flying above us, like, flashing lights at us. And I'm like, are you seriously trying to kill kids because we're out drinking? We went to school and paid money to come to college to do this. Smoke all day or what? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't do that, no. Sometimes, if the opportunity presents itself, I wouldn't pass it up, but I'm not currently working for any companies or anything. I don't have any reason not to. So yeah, I mean, I do a little bit of it. Chiquita face cam. So, long story about this, right? The COVID work from home world jacked up the prices on all these webcams, and the cheap ones were on like 2-month order. And I saw the opportunity to get a really good DSLR camera instead, and so I did, right? Pretty nice camera. It's supposed to be good for like shooting video and even like movie cinematography, but the camera required a capture card because it's not a webcam, so it has to go through HDMI. Well, the capture card is here and working beautifully, and that's how I'm able to stream this. But the micro HDMI to HDMI that needs to connect from the back of the camera to the capture card was coming from China, and when I ordered it, it said something like it could be here May 12th to July 7th. So we're still within time. But I have to have that to stream with the camera, and then if I'm streaming with my Xbox through the capture card, I can't use the camera, so it's one or the other. But anytime I play something other than this, there can be a camera, and I probably will try to do some more like just chatting and like set it up outside while I'm grilling and I just love chatting. I mean, especially because quarantine and shit. But like Lazaro comes in here and we start talking about Black Lives Matter and stuff. Honestly, where I live right now, I am afraid to talk to people about anything because they're fucking Trump supporters. So it's not that I'm afraid to tell people like this shit's wrong and I stand against what's happening. I just don't like, I don't want a casual conversation to turn into a crazy argument all the time, because it will. I'm all about trying to educate people because there's so much ignorance around here. Like defunding the police, people are clueless what that really means. They're like, oh, well, you just go ahead and sign a waiver and tell the police do not respond if I ever get called. And it's like, do you understand that they're like probably 80% of the crimes that happen are not coming to help fix a problem. They're not coming to help. They're coming to hunt down the person that did it. They cannot and will not proactively. Like, I've called the cops before and said, hey, there are people walking around that look like they're going to break into a garage. They have crowbars. They have criminal weapon, like criminal tools. And like, okay, sir. And then like I call them and say they're breaking into my neighbor's house, and they're like, okay, sir. And then they come 2 hours later to take a police report. They didn't want to stop the crime. They didn't want to help. You don't need a police officer with a gun and fucking armed like a guy going into Saudi Arabia or Iraq, like, to come and take a police report. You basically need an insurance adjuster for that. And then all the other times that cops are called, most of the time, there's usually mental health issues. So, you know, a domestic relations issue, like you got mom and dad fighting each other. Send somebody that can counsel them. Don't send a guy who's going to stand there and be like, you know what, she said you roughed her up, so you're going downtown, and if you don't like it, I'm going to rough you up. Like, that also doesn't teach the kids anything. If you watch police officers as a kid, you're not really getting a good example of how to live. Some cops are good, you know, it's just like racism. You shouldn't judge everybody of a race just because you think you know one or two people. Like, you shouldn't judge all cops because you know one or two, but the system itself is disgusting, and it breeds these people. And a good person can go to work every day and be intimidated to say anything because of job security or whatever else. Or, you know, like I just saw something that a Jewish person was having like Nazi SS shit carved on their locker at work. Like, that shouldn't happen, right? The whole police system's corrupt. That's exactly it. Exactly it. And the fact is that it's not like, oh, we have a feeling, we have a suspicion, we think that you're corrupt. There's thousands and thousands of cases and complaints and data that shows most of these people on the streets are not on the straight and narrow. And that's been covered up. And like Minnesota, Minneapolis, like, you know, what was his name? Castile. The dude was killed 4 years ago or something, and they're like, yeah, we have overlooked some things that, like, in our policies and procedures that need to be fixed. And then they weren't, and another person died. Am I up for it? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. When the riots, when the protests, I don't think they're riots. The police incite riots. But when they first were popping off, and even here in Columbus, Ohio, like they were busting out windows and a building got burned down and shit, people were trying to say that these people are so crazy and they're, not peaceful protesters and that shit. But it was I was saying, like, burn it all down. It's property. It's not a human. You can replace the property, and it's symbolism. Like, some people, it's not quite the Boston Tea Party, because the tea was being taxed and that's what they were all fighting over. But I mean, it kind of is. The symbolism is like, police protect property and not people. If you really think deep into it, racism isn't going to end anytime soon, and that's sad. Yeah. The one thing that's happening right now, though, is I think a lot of people who thought racism ended are finally getting woke up. All these people that say there isn't racism and that, it doesn't exist, they I don't think are defending that quite as much. I think a lot of people are saying something needs to change. And when I first heard about defunding the police, I'm like, it's crazy enough. I like it. But then when I read about it some more and I started realizing how it's just like our military government budget. It's just out of control. And when they've cut, like when they've defunded education for so long, people want to argue about defunding things. It's like, they've been doing it to education. You weren't raising a hell then. And that's where the money needs to go. And then just like, oh my God, we had him and I fucking blew it. Is he going to go all the way? Hell no. Oh, Jesus, that was terrible. That was absolutely awful. But the money and the way that they fund stuff and where it's going, how much is going to these things. And I think, there's all these stupid laws on the books in towns. Like, Virginia had a law like that you could get thrown in prison for or hung or something for kissing a man, for two men kissing in town. Or like, I don't know, there's just all these really ridiculous restrictive laws that haven't been enforced. But like, every town has those. Like, I think it would be a major step towards like repairing relations in our world right now by saying, let's just go and everybody in every town take a look at those and make sure there ain't no fucking racist shit. Because inevitably you'll find something in a small town in Ohio where it's like, Negroes can't be out after midnight without a white, guardian or some shit. It's like, dude, let's all take the time as a symbolic act, if nothing else, to clean all of this shit up. And then while we're doing it, let's also start trying to figure out how to make the criminal justice system less stacked against people. And then let's also try to fix the societal problems that make people continue to keep the court justice systems fat and happy. And I've been thinking about it, and I wish I knew more about this. I wish somebody in chat maybe does. I would like to run for House of Representatives here in my district, where nasty, disgusting ass Jim Jordan is the rep. I would love to run against him. I would love to just have somebody put a mic in my face for 1 second, and even if I didn't win, if some people started to take ideas, just kind of like they've done with Bernie Sanders ideas. Like, everybody's kind of grabbed on to some of the stuff, like, oh, people like that, let me include that in my campaign. If I could just even move the needle a little bit like that, it'd be so well worth it. But ultimately, someone needs to come out right now, and someone that could possibly help our country come out and say, this isn't about fucking blue or red. This is not political anymore. The problems, like with COVID and the problems with the police brutality, this is like people who are pro human race and people who are intent on being the scum that tries to float on top of it and use all of us to prop itself up. Like, that's it. Some of those people are Democrats, some of those people are Republicans. We can't trust either one. But we need to do things to just make things right with no political bias at all. The only bias being that everybody at the end of the day is healthier and everybody in this world is safer. Everybody in our state or country or part of our state, whatever it is. But no one ever comes to the table like that. I've yet to hear anybody just sit down and say, you know what? I don't want to hear anything about political this, political that, until these problems are at least a little better. They're just marching on me here. 28-3 though. 28-3. Because, you know, I'm not political. I'm definitely not a Republican. I'm not Democratic. Or I'm Democratic, but I'm not liberal. I'm just a nice common sense. If this program works and it helps people, let's do it. You know? I'm good at this game sometimes. Sometimes. I had it going with defense earlier. You came in here at a good time when I was picking my defense and I was paying good attention. Oh, Dobbs. Offsides, didn't matter. Sometimes the game just goes into world beater mode. There's nothing you can do about it. You just fucking release the dogs on you. Like that whole play, that whole drive, I probably could have switched into a 3-3-5 and stopped some of that. But again, we're talking about something that means more to me than football. I mean, it's just one of those things, like when all of this started popping off and everything was coming out in the news, like I had a hard time trying to come on here and stream and pretend it wasn't happening, you know? I sit here and play this game, and like 10 minutes, 20 minutes before I turn on the game, I was watching people get tear gassed and shot down and chased by cops and for throwing a water bottle, you know? And it's like, you have 120 people and the National Guard on hand. Why don't you all just rush in the crowd and get the person that threw it? Just get the one person that did it. I thought that's how cops operated. Like, you know, at a football game, if one person throws a fucking beer bottle, you don't tear gas the whole stadium. You go get the one person. And usually the crowd is like, hey, it's that dude. I'll help you. Point to him. There he is. And so last night, oh shit, play a game. Last night, the Portland protesters started marching into the mayor's neighborhood. And, you know, the mayor lives in a pretty fucking swanky little part of town. People didn't like the protesters being loud after midnight in their nice little fucking suburbia. And so what happened? The cops were very delicate. They didn't tear gas because, you know, all those neighbors would have to deal with it. They didn't do anything. They had a mass arrest. A whole bunch of people came around a corner and they fucking booby-trapped them and just, you know, rushed them. Half the group got arrested. And it's like, civil disobedience, you put them in jail for the night, you get them out the next day, who cares? But like, it's so interesting, and it's not a coincidence how they handled it differently. What time is it? It is 5 a.m. here. I missed that 420. Come back around on the 520. See, this game might be over here pretty quick. Keep the clock running. What time is you? What time is it for you? You Eastern? Put that on him. Put that on him. Dean is having a heck of a day with those little corner routes. Really just throwing the ball now, then running so that my recruits can see us put over 250 on them. Get that bonus. Visit bonus. Hopefully not throw a pick. I mean, they're 3 possessions down. Sometimes start to act like a real TV announcer. We're like, there's still a chance. Don't change the channel. I mean, this game, you know, they could come back. But I'm going to say to you that because of the way that I run the ball and keep the ball inside the sidelines, we got 253. We got it. Did you hear about how in Arizona it is illegal to record a police officer? Wow. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a problem, right? That doesn't seem like a problem at all. And I mean, and those are the kind of laws that, just like I said, crack open the old law book, look through there, make sure there's no stupid shit that's no longer relevant, that no longer could also be a gotcha for, you know, well, you were in a protest and you were being naughty, and so we don't really have anything else to book you on. But there's this obscure law here that says you could be considered a domestic terrorist, and it's probably from like the Civil War time, and or some shit that they used to crack down on the commie scare in the fucking 50s. And you could be detained for undetermined amount of time. They're just trying to avoid getting exposed. Exactly. So like, I went to school to be a journalist. I went to school and thought, you know, around the time that I was graduating and stuff, I thought I very well could be sent to like Baghdad to report on that shit. Well, I mean, I was a sports broadcaster. I went and interned with the local news channels and did sports, so never really got to a point where I was going to be out in the field and doing stuff like that, and I ended up working in something completely non-related to news and broadcast. But I think a lot about that, just like on the ground journalism. These people that do this stuff risk their lives. It's interesting for me because a lot of these things are happening in political climates that I don't know. So I also learned some stuff, like I was learning last night about Portland's mayor, who is not the guy from Portlandia, but the character in that movie or in that TV series is based on Mayor Ted. Clanchy Clanch, do I hear journalism? Kinda, yeah. We're talking about the people that stream or videotape and like show the police brutality, and like Lazaro was mentioning that Arizona has a law that you can't videotape them. But a lot of the time I'm on Twitch, I'm watching a streamer called Woke, who does like an aggregate of the different protests. And so, yeah, we were just talking about how there's a bunch of weird, creepy laws, and there's a bunch of stupid stuff, that's held over from times when, things were different, and the laws are probably racist or just completely absurd. And it would be a good time to clean them up. It'd be a good time to try and um, evaluate some of the things that are stacked against certain classes and certain, you know, demographics. But at the same time, I was saying like how I went to school for journalism, and how doing that kind of stuff I thought I might end up doing in Iraq. I wanted to actually be an embedded reporter, and how I just I couldn't turn it off. Like, whether it was because of my age or because of the technology, like the shock and awe and stuff in Iraq, like that was the first time I ever remember it being so televised. Every little bit, you could watch so much happening that I never saw before, and I was seeing dead bodies and all sorts of shit. And but you also were getting a story that the media doesn't always tell you. You were getting uncut for you to make your own interpretation. You weren't having somebody frame it up and cherry pick highlights and try to give you a PR spin. But so I graduated with a journalism degree. I trained as a journalism. I wrote for the Ohio State Lantern newspaper for 4 years. I have done writing. I had a music blog for a while. Um, it never was really like a serious writing endeavor, but I don't know if you remember, for a while there was a online news publication called Examiner, and they were trying super hard to get it localized. So like I was in charge of Columbus, Ohio music scene. I wasn't in charge of it, but I was a writer, and I deemed myself in charge of keeping up with music acts that were coming in town. So the last time I was unemployed, about this time 10 years ago, I was listening to music all night long and then writing blogs about it. And I was writing about whoever was coming into town that week and getting tax write-offs to go see them in concert. If you ever gone to a bar for a concert and you have to be that guy in line, it's like, can I get a receipt? Can I get a receipt? Yeah, you know. You know how hated that person is. That was me, though, for a while. Do a bit of commentating for Alaska Sports. Hell yeah. Yeah. And you're in a good spot. If you have like references, and you've got so much writing portfolio, and you are kind of already building like your own personal kind of persona, you're going to be in a really good spot. So I went to Ohio State and didn't really do my homework about their journalism and broadcast. Their journalism program had I forget, it was like Kipker School of Journalism like program. They had some fellows there that were really into some high level shit. But I was just writing police beats and writing about the undergraduate student government having a free pizza whatever that week. And so the other thing that happened was the School of Journalism at Ohio State closed. They folded it into the School of Communication, and my newspaper advisor, the one teacher who could vouch for me and say, this guy knows how to write, this guy is a good researcher, this guy has good story ideas. My skill, really more than anything, is copy editing and headline writing. I didn't have that lady as a reference anymore, right? It was a hard time trying to get people to offer me a job, because I'm like, she's gone. I lost track of her. And at that point, it was like, yep, journalism's probably a no-go for me. So I don't want to preach or tell you how to live, but I would just say hold on close to all those connections. Make sure that you do the extra work to stay in touch and have them vouch for you. You'll probably have a lot more success than I did. I do like actual commentating though. That's awesome. I had done it from my high school our high school was actually pretty advanced in the like radio broadcasting department. Like when, for the time, we had some good government grants and shit. And so I went to a small high school. I don't know that I had a real hell of a lot of exposure, but I loved it. And I interned, like I said, for some of the big time broadcaster, not big time, but the big time city news. And I told them, I really love to do this. And they're like, yeah, you're good. You seem to have a knack for it. And they're like, but this is Columbus, Ohio. We hire, dudes that played at Ohio State, people that have some face recognition. You would be great, but you have to start at a small town. And I was dating a girl, and my family lives pretty close, and I had, such an ego. I'm like, fuck that, man. I'm not moving. I'm not going to go somewhere and start small. And I got a job doing like technical writing. I'm still a writer, but I've gotten involved with a whole bunch of awful satanic shit like human resources. Training and development is usually what I write now. So if you ever get a job, or if you work at Uber and you have to take training on money laundering, there's a good chance I wrote that training for you. Or if you're at Home Depot and you're learning how to order large appliances for customers, I probably wrote that training for you. Ever gone looting? No. I've been present when looting has happened. Ohio State won national championship one year, like I think it was 2002. I'm pretty sure it's 2002. And the town just went fucking nuts. They ran outside and they started throwing shopping carts through the bookstore windows. I'm like, dude, why are we destroying Ohio State related stuff? Like, we love Ohio State. It just didn't make any sense. So I'm just kind of standing around watching it happen. And people were helping themselves to some fucking new sweatshirts and stuff. I'm like, whatever, man. I mean, it's not my stuff. I'm not going to get mad. Look at Poe. Are you kidding me? One more just to fucking send him home. Just to send him home extra shitty. I've not gone looting this year, no. My friends were down there. They were walking around Columbus when they came down the alley and saw that somebody had set that whole building project on fire. But that was shady as shit. There's so much suspicion that was done by the building owner because, they had some corona-related business slowdown. People weren't really moving into that area. There's possible insurance fraud. Yeah, I got all my windows open up here, and you're probably hearing people on the highway. The highway's about 2 miles from my house. Clancy, yeah, I do still live in Ohio. You don't have a great face for it? What do you mean? They told me I had a face made for radio once. They told me I had a voice for the silent film era. But especially radio broadcast, sports broadcast, I don't think that you have any problems. I don't know what you look like, but I even just think it's a non-issue. If you're trying to get on TV more, I could see somebody being super superficial about it, and that's the kind of shitty thing that kind of steered me away. Like when I was doing the broadcast internships, and this guy told me he was kind of joking when he said it, and I like to think he was joking 100% because at that time in college, I thought I was good looking. I could touch a butt whenever I wanted to. Oh, McNeil! Game ender for sure. He's just not going to go down either. The one turnover to the game. This is a beatdown now. Is this Indiana team good enough? D3LO4. Hello, hello. Thank you for that follow. You were joking? Okay. Well, I'm just sitting here like, man, I don't want this guy having self-esteem issues and shit. People fucking say some stupid things. But yeah, I mean, the thing with broadcast journalism is that even if you are the most attractive person, it happened here in Columbus. This lady, Ashley Barrissey, is a super, super attractive blonde. She got pregnant, and people were sending her emails telling her how she gained more weight than she should. Like, you're pregnant, but I think you've gained a few extra. Like, just stupid, terrible, gross, like insensitive things. And it's just like being on YouTube or being on here. Like, somebody came in here the other night and was like, shut the fuck up, you fat bitch. I'm like, I mean, you don't know if I'm fat. How do you even know if I'm fat? Am I fat? I mean, I drink beer. I'm beer braised, bro. You know, if you got a beer gut, somebody told me once, if you got a great tool, we grow a shed over it. But, you know, I try to keep my blood sugar down. I try to keep my cholesterol down. I'm just healthy. Would have to shave your beard though. I don't even know about that, you know. I didn't get my 10 XP for kneeling it, but fuck it. We beat Michigan State. We beat them like they fucking were stepchildren. I shouldn't say that. That's not a very good joke. We beat them like we didn't like them. And we really don't have any problems with them. Other than the fact that they beat us last. The play of the game was the fucking 42nd point. But D3, you're 2 hours away from Columbus. I grew up around Indian Lake and now live pretty much in Columbus since I graduated and went to school here. Stafford Poe, 5 TDs. Beat it like I beat it every night. There you go. We beat it like a fucking hard-on, just that won't go away. Beat it like we kids in summer with nothing else to do. You shout out your Instagram? Absolutely. Check out the I Am Lazaro Instagram there. I think if you want to hear, you want to post it in there, you can post a link directly to it. Beans for the fat W. Ohio-West Virginia border. Nice. Yeah, my grandma lived in West Virginia, so I've probably been somewhere near you. Point Pleasant. What else is close to West Virginia? Like the other side, 70, where you go through Wheeling. Been there a few times. Down to Athens. Plays hockey in Wheeling. Home of the Mothman, you know it. Robert Leafs, what's up, sir? Good win. Fucking Louisville, man. It's become the biggest rivalry we got. And Louisville's defense was 86. Michigan State's was 88. What happened? Why is there such a difference? Louisville have become our dreaded rivals, and for others who haven't seen the whole schedule, haven't seen who we play through this year, what we ended up having was Louisville do a home and home. So we played in their home, they played in our home this year. We had the game suggest Kentucky, and then the game suggested a Big 12 team, and I don't remember exactly who it was, but we turned that to Kansas. So we had quite the basketball like early season schedule with Louisville, Kentucky, Kansas. Singing Country Roads, love it. Love it. But yeah, driven through that way. I love going down to West Virginia, going down hiking for a day or camping down there. Beautiful. IU still putting together a solid season. I think after this win, there is a lot of other big games. There are a lot of other big games going on. Look at Poe. I did not even realize how much we were just fucking gassing him. I should have probably put in the backups, but that's for Poe's Heisman campaign. He's probably a lock. Big boy Calvin Johnson had a good game. Dean catches 3. Harris has a couple big ones. Good stuff. Clancy with the 2 pancakes. Good. Ben Jackson. I think he had all these tackles in the first half. Like on one series, actually. Look at all the tackles for loss, baby. That's how you have the top-ranked rushing defense in the country right there. 3 sacks? I did not realize that. This dude, I said it earlier in a stream, if anybody wants to question my authenticity, but I said when we got this guy that he would probably be the first round draft pick that we have. And maybe somebody will sneak in before he graduates, but at the same time, I think it's a guarantee he's going to be a first rounder. Gotta play Duke too. Yeah, I should have. I already played Louisville though, so I didn't want to have more than one ACC team because it had scheduled me Virginia. I had 2 of them. Where can you get this game? It's going to be a little more expensive than you'd probably like, but I've seen GameStop online, like website, you can just go there. That I have seen as cheap as $75 recently, but I've heard other people saying they've had to buy it off eBay for like $125. Clancy's saying it's weird y'all talking about driving to another state because you're in Alaska. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Is their border with Canada easier, less easy? What capture card do I use? I bought a Nix capture card. I was talking about webcams earlier and how everything's just absolutely ridiculous because of everybody working from home in the coronavirus world. So instead of buying an overpriced webcam, I bought an actual mirrorless DSLR camera, which is like good enough to take wedding photography, and it's a little better quality. Plus, I'm not stuck at a computer. It's not just a webcam. So I thought this is a good deal. It's a good idea to pay an extra $100, have a really top of the line web camera that I can actually take outside and use because it's not made to be a web camera. So I had to buy the capture card for it. Well, people have been using the Elgato. I forget. There's the Elgato capture card, but then they have something else that's like a USB jump drive kind of capture link or something like Cam Link. I forget exactly what it's called, but those things were going for like $250. And the Nix capture card I got is smaller. It is exactly the size of a deck of cards. So it sits behind my monitor and I don't even know it. But this Nix capture card was $95. No turnovers. Is this real life? Rushing yards, man. Passing yards. Balanced. You got the Elgato for $100. That's a good deal. Depends on when you bought it, though, right? if you bought it recently. 4-day drive to Seattle. Jesus. I think I could drive from here in Ohio to Seattle in probably 2. $13 and get to Whitehorse, Yukon. Hey, Mock Gaming, I see you in here too. Sorry, Bo. D Spice is in here too. I've seen a listing for $375 for freaking NCAA football. Jesus. Well, you'll know my real professional career's gone up in shit if I end up selling all this stuff for money. But I mean, between the capture card, the microphone, and the camera, and the $100 worth of HDMI cords and shit, keeping my monitors together, my 2 monitors, gaming laptop, the NCAA game worth $375. Some chump who needs to buy a used Xbox to play the game, I'd sell it to him for $35. Shit. About 2 years ago, yeah, Clancy. You were smart. You somehow knew coronavirus was going to happen and you bought all this before that. Rose Bowl tonight got screwed out of the Natty. Shit. You're still with Rutgers, right? Yeah, the thing with this game, Lazaro, is that there just are no other versions. This was the last year they put it out. So, you know, there's Madden and Madden 21 or whatever is going to be coming out in a couple months. There will not be an NCAA. And a lot of people were probably just like me and thought, man, I want to play a college football game. Well, then I saw an article where they were talking about this community that keeps the rosters updated. And this was back in 2018. And that season was about to start. It was like late June. And I thought, shit, I want to play college football. I went to a GameStop and thought, man, it's probably going to be like $13, $14 something. I go in there and like, it's the last one we have. I'm like, yeah. And like, it's $39.99. I'm like, what? It's the same price as a new game? I'm like, I'll do it. And then, yeah, it's just gone up and up. That was 2 years ago. Point, what is that even? 3,000th? A 3,000th of a point? I've had my copy of NCAA since 2013. Hell yeah. Yeah, the Operation Sports community, and now there seems to be a lot more. There's other people who have said, yeah, Operation Sports is great, but we're not going to wait for them. We're going to go ahead and put out rosters. Like there's 3 or 4, maybe more. Got mine at GameStop for $69. Hell yeah. Still, that's a lot, and now probably even less likely to get it for that cheap. The stupid thing about buying this game was that I am pretty sure at one point, like in 2015, I went to GameStop and took all the old like MLB The Show and Madden and NCAA games and took them because they had like some special where it's like all trade-ins for, you know, every trade-in for $5 or less, or they would not give you less than $5 or $10 for a trade-in. And I knew like a 2 or 3 year old version, like FIFA 2010, was worthless basically. And so I went in there and I think I came out with like $25. So I must have traded in $5. GameStop sells it for retail price? Hell yeah. I was going to say, I've seen it online, I thought, for $75 or something like that. And that's the cheapest, but I didn't try to order it. I don't know if it said something like, as soon as you try to order it, that it's not in stock or unavailable. Clancy, you going to go sleep? Hey, have a good rest of your stream, Bo. Good to meet you. Appreciate you coming in. I think I saw a little bit of your stream earlier when Leverett was mentioning people, so it's one of those cool things where I'm like, there's still other streamers out here I haven't met yet playing this game, so I'm glad I got to meet you. Got to talk. We'll do this thing again here. But yeah, we just beat the fuck out of Michigan State. We did it, kids. Pretty new to the streaming game. You picked a good game to start it with, honestly. I don't know if you heard me say earlier that I fucking streamed for 5.5 years before I got affiliate. And it was because I was just playing games that people didn't care, or like Twitch sings. People will follow you. You get tons of followers, like follow for follow on there. But you can't get average viewers. And then I played Marbles on stream, and that's a pretty good community, but that game gets really, really boring. And it's so demanding time-wise. But that, in this game, Marbles on stream and NCAA, perfect match. What is that? Weird ass achievement I just got. But yeah, this is probably, of all the games I played, probably my favorite community. All the different streamers hanging out, chit-chatting. I genuinely enjoy it. There's a lot of times with Marbles on stream that I would go to people's channel just to get points, just to be playing races, but I didn't actually really listen or like. Sometimes you just mute them. But and smart community too, like talking sports with y'all. I don't follow recruiting that closely, and I don't really even remember like last year or two some of the players that were on, like, you know, Auburn's team. Like I know I watched games and I'm like, these guys are good and they're SEC, but I can't have the names remembered quite as well in the last few years. So I appreciate getting some knowledge, hearing about what teams are getting recruits, some of the stuff that you all follow closer than I do. Stream Warzone for a while. Started with NHL with some buds, got affiliated. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it really is about finding your friends on here too, like finding people that kind of run in packs. Like it's always helpful when you've got, you know, 2, 3, 4 people that routinely hang out. You get affiliate pretty quick. I don't know if I was just playing the wrong games, or I was playing games that I didn't really like to watch other people play too. I know that's a big part of it, is hanging out in other people's streams and, you know, just talking and meeting people. And I wasn't really doing that because I didn't want to go watch other people sing karaoke. Class of 2020 recruit to follow, Jay Patel, 5-star kicker. All right. I'll absolutely do that. The guy that's kicking at Michigan right now, they're Michigan, sad. But he's from close to where I grew up. His name was big when he was in high school. Clancy, let me permit you real quick. I didn't see your... There you go. Sorry, I didn't see that. Nice. Yeah, it's a name I'll look for sure. If he's so 2020, he would be a junior this year, right? If he's a junior, I imagine a lot of schools are probably already starting to talk to him, try to get him to... Oh, what did I just do? I just fucking moved the whole screen. We got Patrick Brown. We got Adam Smith. Oh my God. It's starting to happen. We're not probably going to get all these linemen, but those are 2 big ones right there. We got 1,400 points back for our pool. Jason Williams is another one. Look at Casey Salas, the right guard got 1,540 points from that visit. Dobzinski. How are these people not committed? Fred Newsom committed. Isaiah Moore committed. This game tells you not to schedule people for visits until as late as possible. I think that's not true. A lot of times when you try to schedule them for visits, every slot gives you 500. It doesn't change. If that's the case, have these people come earlier. If your visit's, top dog, they're coming here now. And now I've got all these extra recruiting points to throw at people. And I'm pretty certain we're going to end up getting the #1 recruiting class again. It says you're permitted for 10 minutes, Clancy, so you should still be good. Kentucky, Syracuse, Rutgers, Baylor, Tennessee. Nice. A couple SEC teams. Is Shiano going to turn things around there at Rutgers? He did it once before. NCAA Player of the Week, that had to have been Stafford Poe because that was a huge game. I thought Chris Ash would do something, but, Ohio State's secondary was just trash when he was here. He wasn't really an Ohio State guy. He was a fucking job hopper. Pushing Jai to go there, yeah. Like to see them, kids stay closer to home and be a part of something bigger, Like that's what my recruiting pitch would be to people. My recruiting pitch, if you were all recruits and I'm saying, you got to come to IU, Even if it was before my team has finished number 3, number 5, I would say, we are building something. Right now, you can go to Ohio State and be a third string dude and be a part of something, but you ain't going to be an active contributor. You come here, you're probably going to be the shining prospect of this class. You're going to come here and you're going to get to play all the big boys. You're going to be on TV. You're going to be wearing them sweet crimson and cream uniforms. You're going to be, living the high life with Coach Dickie. Bourbon at halftime and bitches afterwards. And, this is something that is, you can go somewhere else if you want tradition that's already been established, but you come here if you want to be the one that sets the tradition. You want to be the person that fucking makes us on the map. Always kind of sell that underdog mentality, but there's no reason Indiana's an underdog at this point. We're a 4-star prestige team. We just beat the hell out of Michigan State. The Terps. We still have the Terps. Fuck, we still have 5 more games. Terps, Rutgers, Ohio State, Penn State. Come now and lay the ground floor. Exactly. And I think, kids grow up and, sometimes Ohio State kind of feels like the Yankees, right? Like, if you don't like them, you probably like to hate them. Yankees and the Red Sox and those teams who every year you're probably going to see them as a contender. They're probably going to be around in the postseason. Like, you can sell just being an anti-bandwagon. Like, everybody wants to go to Ohio State. What is that going to get you? There's only so many players that can play there. Clancy, now you're going to go for sure? Again, I appreciate you coming in here. Chit-chatting a little bit. Helping us get that big W against Michigan State. That was mind-blowing how was actually able to fucking beat the shit out of them like that. Look at all the people coming to this game. Is that right? That can't be right. Is this Terrapin's game a home game? Well, we scheduled this one thinking it would be a big blowout offensively and we get really good recruit scores. But everybody should have came to the fucking Michigan State game. They ain't gonna get any better than that. And look at this dude. He still wants to go to Michigan State after all that. He's got to visit this week, though. Alright, we've got a bunch of points to hand out. If I give him all these, he's still going to lose potentially 10 points a week. We're still in the lead, man. I can't believe it. This is insane. This is insane. This is going to end up being the most insane recruiting class. This dude's almost locked. Everybody's so far away. I'll give him 5 more points. I'll give him 5 more. I just like to see these round numbers. Who wants to come visit? We've got to figure this out. Allie Hines? I'll give you some points too, or you're never going to lock. We're never going to get you locked. And no one else has scheduled anything. And we don't necessarily need a outside backer in any shape or form. Garner's halfway decent, so we'll have Hines go there just to should I send him there? This one, there's potential more bonus for this, and Garner's better, and so I'd like them both to get complimentary visit. I think it's a good idea. This guy's so inconsequential. I'm sorry, but you just aren't really that important at all. You didn't have a scholarship offer to him. App State is only losing 30 points a week. Just get more complimentary points. That's really the only reason we keep these guys around. We've already got one cornerback, and if we get Patterson here, Harrison's another cornerback. Holy shit. Holy shit, kids. This. The secondary is going to become all world. I think Craig Carey's halfway decent. I don't think we've scouted him, though. Let's see. Oh. He sucks. He's terrible. He's terrible. He's got good stamina. That's what she said. This guy we already scouted and he's broke too. Only 2. He's not ready to visit even. Fuck. We have to get a quarterback at some point. We have to. Oh my God. 73 arm power. That's not good. This dude's got the big arm, kinda, but the accuracy, like, and he's faster. We've been scouting the wrong guy. Wait. He's 237 as well, so he's going to be a beefy boy. Beefy. Jameson, one of the top running backs in the nation. Already locked up here. Gotta start throwing some points at this guy. Get him locked, get him visit. I mean, if this dude doesn't come, it doesn't even matter at this point. He's pretty good though. Catching's not great. Run block 76 is pretty great. This guy's a 73 at catching. A little better. Route running. His release. This dude's release is better. Strength. Not quite as good, but he's more agility, more acceleration, more jumping. So, I mean, we've got the guy we wanted. This guy will be nice, but Adam Smith. Is that the guy who, didn't Adam Smith write all the theories about capitalism and shit? We've got two beastie tackles coming. Both of them probably ready to play day one, but they're not going to need to. In all honesty, because this dude's already what is he? He's a JUCO, but it doesn't say what class. Is he a junior? And this dude's light. He's not huge. He's not real big. One of them could be turned into a guard. Now Isaiah Moore isn't too bad. He's already recruited. There's no point. No point in scouting him. He's already committed. Big boy from Van Wert, not too far from here. So we're winning the battle here. That visit jumped us up quite a bit, but they're still going to get a visit. He's already scouted. He's not great. He's not bad. He's good at run blocking. We've got so many fucking points, really. Dude, I don't even know. So we're still gaining big time on Oregon here. These guys were slowly but surely starting to pull away. And then Jeff Jones, where the hell did this dude come from? JUCO. Oh yes, I do remember. I don't want to give him any points, right? I don't need to. Guess we go hard for Jermaine Carter. Wait, first let's scout him. Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh daddy. Well, I guess we know. Does this guy need a scholarship offered? Probably. He's 230. He's a little undersized. Probably not fast enough to try to move to an outside backer. Maybe, though. Maybe middle backer. So what do we do here? What do we do? Give Jermaine Carter as many points as he can. Just a second, my computer's bugging out there. Alright, well, let's dump them all. We don't need DNs, but someday we will. We can redshirt them 2 years from now. We might need a DN 3 years from now, probably. I can't believe this is happening like this. This is out of control. 230, 291. We haven't scouted him to know if he's a sleeper of some sort. I see Michigan State's trying to creep up in here. I'm gonna give them some more points just so they can't. Both these dudes landed. Fred Newsom may never play, but he's here. Hines is going up slowly but surely. I guess I could give him a few more points to try to push him to lock quicker. This guy, we're just letting go with the flow. No big deal. This guy we should be able to get now. We should be able to jump back up in the lead. Especially with that week 14 visit. And here's the last guy we wrote. Need to points on James Ross. Are we gonna land these guys? He's taking a long time to lock. Bo Walker goes up and down. I don't know what to think. I think with our visit we'll get him. Already gave Harrison his payday here. Dobzinski, I don't see any way that they'll catch it up. Don't see any way. Now Jermaine Meade is in a battle with USC. No. Shit, I'm not going to give him 610 points. I know that. I'll give him a few. We'll see what happens. Everybody's catching up on Brian Rogers now. Sean Boyd. We're slowly coming up the list. I guess I could give him a scholarship offer. His speed. Play recognition, pursuit. Yeah. It's just getting a little bit ridiculous what's going to happen in our secondary. This dude is a quarterback. He's a throw B. He's a B throw accuracy, B throw power. I'm tempted to take the other guys off the list. and go after him. Does he even have a scholarship offer? Yeah. I mean, Dobzinski's a done deal. It might take a while, but he's coming here. Take all the points off of him. But will he lock? If I take all the points off him, I don't think so. What do we got at strong safety? It was telling me I needed to draft, or it was telling me I needed to recruit one. Because Taylor is leaving, but we've already got the dude that's going to play strong safety is already on the roster. And he'll be a freshman or he'll be a sophomore next year. Maybe he gets a red shirt this year somehow even. But then this guy would be ready. He would be like a red shirt sophomore when he started. Yeah, okay. So, red shirt. Should I go hard on this dude? Should I go hard on that quarterback? This guy's so far behind, I don't know if I could even catch up. Yeah, I mean, it's just silly at this point. Can't lose this dude. We need to take these guys off the list here. Alright, let's see next week what happens, because some of this shit's gonna start shaking out. I took dudes off my list. We're just really not that far off of anybody except this guy. And he's a JUCO. Is that why I thought I was gonna get him? I'm tempted to remove him. If I remove him, I can go out and find one more person. I can also cut one of those quarterbacks off the list. What the hell is that quarterback carry? It says he's a 4-star though. And if he's gonna come no matter what, I don't have to do anything. I don't need Casey Salas really. That's the crazy thing, is I don't need some of these players. Like I don't need Deshaun Valentine. Just if we get that other D end. We're so far behind. Let's take this dude off. It's just not gonna happen. I'm wasting coin on him. It could be going on this guy. Alright, that's how it's gonna be. It's how it's going to be. What happened to my music, kids? What do we do? What do we do? The music's all played out. Sorry for the delay here. I mean, we're just killing time, really. We're not doing anything productive at all, sadly. Try to find some music. Let's see what we're getting into here with the music. Alright, let's find one more fucking prospect. Gotta be a strong safety. This dude's just chilling here, right? Trey West. I think we were involved with you early and you just aren't the size. That's stupid. You weren't the right size and so we just completely passed them up. This dude wants to come. He's a 41. Buddy. Buddy boy. Is there a chance that I could scout him and he jumps up 20 points? Otherwise, just get the hell out of here. 1 stars need love too. Somewhere else. So I'm a little bit leery about this dude because he's already 54% lock, but we're number 5 on his list. I think we can make this. If we threw points at him. Feels good. All right. Tyrone Butler's not too bad. Let's take a look at this top classes. You know what it's going to say. Look at that shit. Coach Dickie brings them in. Only 1 5-star at this time, at this moment, but 8 4-stars is by far the list, the leader. Michigan's got 2. They're the only one that has more than 1. Interesting indeed. Because we're gonna get at least 1 or 2 of them 5 stars. And we're chasing. Start bragging. Indiana takes care of business. Yeah, we did. And while we're talking about taking care of business, let's take care of that business. We missed the fucking 420. We missed the 520 Central Time version. We missed almost the Mountain Time version. What I'd like to do at this time is cheers and chongs, yeah. So have one big warm swallow of beer there. But we got other stuff. We got icy cool. We got fruity. We got spicy. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm trying to take care of this business we were just talking about. I need to get an emote designed as well. I don't know why that just dawned on me, but I'm trying to get a list of shit I gotta get together, stuff I gotta get done. And I was thinking about playing another game here, but I don't know if I should stop and actually do some stream shit. Does anybody even care? I mean, does my stream become more enjoyable because I have an emote? I don't know that it makes a big difference, right? Michigan just squeaked by Purdue. Indiana, number 5 team in the country, are going to play on regional broadcast again. The beatdown, the annihilation and embarrassment of Michigan State gets us 1 rank improvement. San Diego State's now in the top 10, 7-0. Holy shit. Kentucky got a 4-4 record. Iowa's 5-3 now. Notre Dame trying to get back to 500. They have found it more challenging now that they're in the ACC, and they don't seem to ever be in the title hunt anymore. Killed, hello, good morning. Or good lunchtime, somewhere around there. Ole Miss 4-4. Western Kentucky 5-2. Florida Atlantic having another one of them seasons, 6-1. They're going to come and hire all your coaches away from you. Oklahoma is now ranked 24th. Nebraska is really sliding. Pitt beats Virginia pretty handily. Wake Forest gets dumped on by Florida State. UCLA loses again. Ball State beats Bowling Green. Louisville goes up to 4-4. Louisiana Monroe 3-3 now. USF is 5-2. Michigan just barely. I'm telling you, this is the season. This is the year when Michigan comes to town. They play us. I think they play us at home. Maybe not. They don't play us at home. Shit. That's a little bit different. That's a little bit different. Ohio State is now ranked after beating Maryland. Looks like Maryland should be a easy win, hopefully. San Jose is now 5-2. New Mexico 5-2. Miami, Ohio 5-2. Arkansas State 16th now, 5-1. Just woke up, but don't admit that I was sleeping. Your secret's safe with me. I hadn't been feeling good. I didn't really eat much yesterday, and I went to sleep, and I didn't wake up till 3 p.m. And it was a super nice day too, so I was pretty pissed at myself. I missed a good day, but I did get up and get outside, and I still got hedges trimmed. I did a bunch of weeding. Got my some of the garden plants that weren't doing so good. Got them repotted. Maybe they'll take off now. Middle Tennessee State 6-2. Georgia 6-1. Finally having a decent year. UAB gets a win. Temple gets a win. Tulsa's 4-3. Penn State beats Rutgers 7-0, ranked number 2. USC's back up to 17th. Boise State 5-2. UNLV 3-5. Northern Illinois put up some points there, 63 points. App State loses again to North Carolina, who had no wins. Clemson's up to 13th after a big win over Army. BC's still undefeated, number 3 now in the country. Texas State wins. BYU's 5-3. Florida International is 5-2. UCF 3-4. Cincinnati wins 3-5. Navy holds off a pretty good Houston team to stay ranked 15th. West Virginia beats Baylor. Kansas is ranked again after beating Oklahoma State. And here's a pretty good one. Tech beats Miami. I knew there were a few good games this week. I thought there would be more teams that dropped, but Missouri, they're finally getting things together there. 3-4. There it is. A&M versus LSU. LSU lost. Colorado win. Cal's ranked again, beating Arizona State. Stanford loses to Oregon State, now 18th. Toledo's 4-4 after the win. Kent State's 4-4 after the win. Texas lost. Texas lost. This is our year. This is our year. Texas was one of the teams that one of the only teams we were afraid to play. Not afraid to play, but they're overpowered. They are a 99 in most everything. Can I show that? How can I show it? I can't show it. The TCU is back on the mat with Luke Fickell, the coach there. Marshall wins. Rice finally gets a win. Big one. Alabama loses to Tennessee. Akron loses. Iowa State wins big over Auburn. Holy shit, Auburn random out of conference game gets beat down. And here it is. Here it is. Big Ten top 3 teams in the out of the 5. And then ACC's got 2 of them. Big Ten and ACC's where it's at. Toughest divisions on here for sure. So Michigan, you see their offense is okay. It's 95 is pretty good. Their defense is 90. I think I can beat that. In past years, they've been like this or higher. So Penn State's going to be a challenge, but their defense is a 93. So I can kind of work with that. Boston College got a good offense, but who knows how far they're going to go. La Tech, not even as good. We're here. We can do it. We can get things done. We can beat Florida. Texas, though, I don't know. That would have been one I just don't know if we can beat. TCU pulled that out, man. Oregon's not terrible. They're 4-3 and they're in the top 10. Trying to force that bullshit. San Diego State's not too bad. Their defense is, though. Miami, another team that if I played them, a 97 defense would give me trouble. Michigan State did not give us trouble. Clemson, legit team. They could give us trouble. Those ratings. Army, Navy aren't so highly rated. Arizona State just keeps making problems for people there. USC could be a good one. Stanford's 99 offense could be. Georgia, not really. LSU could be a legit team. And then Ohio State. Like, if we beat Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State somehow, we deserve the national championship right there. Just give it to us. A&M 97. Kansas keeps bouncing around in here trying to get things good. How are they a 4-star prestige? I don't know. You know, Kansas and OU, Oklahoma and Kansas right there on that same level. You know, everybody knows that. And Cal's not too bad. But honestly, who up here at this point in the season are we going to end up playing? Texas might somehow crawl back in there, maybe? Had a 6-4 Georgia in my road to glory, stay in the top 10. It's bonkers, right? There's just no other Pac-12 school doing anything right now. USC's at 17th, and that's probably going to change after Cal. And then Stanford, they keep trying to keep them ranked high, and they're not great. They lost to Oregon State, for crying out loud. Pretty much consensus number 5 team. Just don't let Cole throw very much. He doesn't get many touchdowns, but the numbers aren't too bad. 6 of 9? 6 of 9 is not too bad. Yeah, here are the basketball kickoff here. UK, Louisville, Kansas. And even some years SMU basketball's not bad. And Wisconsin's given us the toughest game this year. I mean, obviously Louisville that beat us, but after that Louisville game, the beatdowns just came. It just became a different team. Stafford Poe keeping up his Heisman campaign here. Marcus Stanford's not going to just let him have it, though. Got a pretty good game there against Houston. This dude's tearing it up, though, at USC. 402 yards passing at 88 running, 5 total TDs. Now Mike Coleman's getting in the mix here from BC. 325 yards passing, 54 yards rushing, 5 TDs. Carlos Baker had 201 yards against Purdue. But Stafford Poe deserves it, man. He's the one that deserves it. He's only broken 4 tackles. That's great. Alright, so there's that. That is that. Let's just look at this for shits and giggles. Here we are, boys. This is what lies ahead of us. We got Maryland, then Rutgers, then Michigan, then Ohio State, and then Penn State. Maryland's 0-4. That's good. Penn State's got a D tackle that's out. That could be big when we play them. But Penn State has to be Ole Miss, and then Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State, and us. I don't think they're getting out. I just don't. Terps and Rutgers should be extra chances for our backups to play a little bit. The Terps game, somewhat of a recruiting win too. We got a few guys coming through. Hopefully we get them to commit, and then we can throw the rest of those points at our other guys. If we end up getting every guy, it'll be the first time it's ever happened. We did lose a couple guys that we kicked off the list, I think. But this is how my recruiting system works now, is that most of the time, if I'm not going to get a guy, they're already off of our board by the time the season really starts to heat up. Look at this shit. 4-year outlook. I've never seen it like this. Next year 3. And then they expect us to go back to back. One of those years beating Oregon, one of those years beating Miami. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And then Ohio State, number 2 and number 3, they're expecting us to have to deal with them too at some point. Michigan falls off a little bit after the season. I mean, this season they're falling off already. Expecting we'll have to deal with Texas, USC, Stanford, LSU, Bama finally gets back in the mix. Saying next year's gonna be a rough one for Army, but after that, things pick up. Shit, man. This program over the next 3 or 4 years is coming to life. Haven't checked this for a while to see what's going on. So yeah, we gotta go in the big house. I think we have to go into Ohio State too. And the Penn State game's at home, thankfully. But yeah, here's the other thing about playing in the Big Ten East. You get to play 3 of the top 10 hardest places to play. Nebraska, you might get to play against them, top 14. Michigan State, top 20. Wisconsin. They're not in our division though, so yeah. Iowa, all the toughest places to play are in the Big Ten. We're still 31. We got a 3-game winning streak there. That's good. Conrad Stadium has fallen so far. It's just, how coincidental is it that they're 32 and we're 31 and we used to coach them? Their fucking prestige is going down so fast. This is like, I have to win this year. I've got to win this year so I can jump ship to this team before it completely collapses. Spend maybe 2 years there, get my natty, make me a man of my word to the App State fans and population. I think that's gonna do it. I thought I would get 2 games in here. I thought I would try to stream late into the day, through the morning, but it's not hot here right now, so I don't need to go outside and work. I can do it later in the afternoon, where later this week I'll have to get up and stream, or I have to get outside and work before it gets hot. So maybe that's when I'll do it. I'm just not too pumped up for the Maryland game, is essentially what's happened here. I don't have the energy and the charisma. I mean, I can sit here and chit chat with you all day long, and that's exciting and fun, but the football part right now, going to sleep sounds better. Looking for someone to raid sounds better. Sorry you missed all the fun, Killed. Sorry. But we'll do it again. You know we do. We will. I see Male 27 and Sharp Gaming. It's just amazing that I'm still finding people that I have not seen stream before. How is this possible? But there's more opportunity to make friends, some new people. So yes, you catch me next time, or I'll catch you streaming, one of the two, or I'll see you in somebody's stream chat. I haven't seen Soundbeam streaming quite as much lately. Haven't been in there to party with you and all the fun people, but I saw he did a pool party the other day. I don't know if you were watching that. But, yeah, before we send this on, let me thank some of the new people I've met today. Big Philly, 8479. Appreciate the follow. Cam DC, the follow, and Raid. Much love, man. It was a pleasure meeting all the new people and new faces today. Dusty Wall. Cam DNC with a sub, too. Come in here and Remember him forever now. CF Ryan 23. Lazaro Man Yuan. Clancy Clanch. Clancy Clanch for the hosts and the raid. And D3L04. It's just super cool to meet all you. I don't know how I keep finding people I haven't met already, but I'm glad it happened. I appreciate all the people coming in here and chatting too. We were chatting about some, political stuff a little bit, and everybody stayed cool. Everybody's cool. This is really a good community of people. I know we were saying it earlier, and a couple other chatters were saying it, but it really does remind me of some of the guys I used to hang out with and play NCAA football with a long time ago. Just everybody chills and hangs out and compete. We have fun. And now we raid One Sharp Gaming here. But absolutely. Good day. A great day. A great day for football and friendship. And now it's Monday. Let's go see what One Sharp Gaming's up to. And everybody have a good Monday. Thanks so much. Smooch.